Hello everyone, welcome to Toyeen Talks. Aunty Adunni to part 2. Thank you very much for watching till I'll see you in my next video. Stay safe, stay blessed. I love you all. Bye.
And opted to call his personal nurse, identified as Nurse Fumi, who unfortunately was not available. At this point, Ayoba Mr. Dick Spending offered to call his own nurse to attend to Muhbad. That nurse turned out to be the auxiliary nurse, Ms. Feisayo Ogedenge, a suggestion that Muhbad consented to. When Ms. Feisayo was contacted at about 14:30 hours on Monday, 11 September 2023, she was unavailable but promised to come the following day, being Tuesday, 12 September 2023. Ahead of her arrival, she requested that the picture of the swollen hands from injury area be videoed and snapped and sent to her for assessment to guide on the medication to come along with. At about 14:35 hours on 12 September 2023, Ms. Feisayo eventually arrived armed with one pack of cetrazone injection, one vial paracetamol injection, tetanus toxoid injection, one vial procaine penicillin injection, 7 ampoules of IM diclofenac, tincture iodine, several needles and syringes. Ms. Feisayo administered the tetanus toxoid on the arm of Muhbad and gave both the paracetamol and cetrazone injection intravenously. Immediately the cetrazone injection was administered, Ms. Feisayo confirmed that Muhbad started vomiting. While goose pimples appeared on his face. It dawned on Ms. Feisayo that Muhbad was reacting to the administered medications. She consequently ran out to procure hydro and nizafene infusion. While at the pharmacy in the locality, she got a call that Muhbad has started convulsing. Eventually, Cynthia Omoduni Adebanjo, Adunni Shedrack Aloba, Olanrewaju Idris Adedoja, Ayinde Habib Ido Daramola, Aderinto Fawaz, and Ms. Feisayo rushed him to the hospital in the vehicle of engineer Chinaka, Jesse, their neighbor. Unfortunately, he was pronounced dead on arrival at Kura Health Hospital.
Kura Health Hospital. Before they now took him to Perez.
The team moved his body to Perez Hospital, Lekki, where his death was recertified. A death certificate was later issued by Kura Med Hospital. Muhbad's father, who had earlier been contacted on the development, came to the late Muhbad's house, and after a short meeting, resolved to move the body to Ikorodu for burial, which was done the following day, 13 September 2023, at about 14:00 hours. This is the narrative. Now, allegations of bullying, assault, and possible complicity.
Once I'm done,
During investigation, series of allegations of bullying, threat to life, and possible complicity in the death of Muhbad by Naira Marley and Sam Larry were raised from various quarters. This prompted the Special Investigation Team to widen the scope of their investigation to that aspect. Several videos touching on the allegations were analyzed and witnesses were interviewed. Many of the witnesses earlier listed, as the 26 witnesses, many of them alleged that the deceased was indeed bullied and assaulted several times by Naira Marley and Sam Larry and their gangs. It was affirmed that sometime in 2019, the deceased was allegedly signed by Naira Marley into a record label known as Malian Music Limited. Due to disagreement in terms of the contract, the deceased pressed for the revocation of his contractual relationship with Malian Music, while also pushing to relieve his then manager, who was a brother to Naira Marley. It was alleged that these moves eyed the suspects, who in consequence allegedly severally conspired, bullied, and assaulted the deceased. It was also asserted by some witnesses with corroborating video evidence that before his demise, Muhbad had raised alarm that his life was being threatened, that he was being bullied and assaulted by Naira Marley and Sam Larry. Upon their arrest, Abdulaziz Abdeshinot Fashola Naira Marley and Samson Erifolami Balogun Sam Larry denied allegations of complicity in the death of Muhbad by pleading an alibi that they were both out of the country when the incident occurred.
And it's true.
And they were not in any manner involved in the chain of events that occasions his eventual death.
And that's true.
Between 10th to 12th September 2023.
That's 48 hours.
However, there are preponderance of evidence linking both Naira Marley and Sam Larry to the allegations of threat to life, cyber stalking, and sundry crimes committed against Muhbad in his lifetime, and they are being so held liable. Interim findings. From investigations so far conducted, it has been established as follows. 1. The chain of events that directly and specifically led to the death of Ileri Oluwala Dineji Aloba, aka Muhbad, occurred between 10th to 13th September 2023, and the location of incident stretched over Ikorodu and Lekki, Lagos. Feisayo Ogedengbe, female, who as an auxiliary nurse administered multiple and highly potent injections, which triggered an immediate reaction that eventually occasioned the death of Muhbad, is the principal suspect in the homicide case. Feisayo Ogedengbe is not a qualified registered nurse, and her illegal and medical negligence are believed to have been directly responsible for the chain reactions and eventual death of Muhbad at 15:43 hours on 12 September 2023.
I was saying that they should be able to find out. So apparently he gave up 15:43. 3:43 Lojonye. 3:43. So as at 7 o'clock, when the father was still roaming to find out to see them, the guy had gone like 3 hours before. Oh no, this is
within which auxiliary nurse Ogedengbe administered the injections on Muhbad. Through his reactions, convulsion, and eventual death, is confirmed to be within less than an hour.
Less than an hour.
40 hours when the principal suspect administered the sets of injection, and 15:43 hours when Muhbad was confirmed dead.
Wow.
Ramed Hospital. Aside her admittance to the consequences of her actions, the report of the medical panel that reviewed auxiliary nurse Feisayo's actions concluded that she went beyond her limitations as an auxiliary nurse by administering intravenously cetrazole on the deceased, and that this, from their review, was the most likely cause of the anaphylactic reaction, which could have been promptly resolved and his death possibly prevented if the disease was treated in the hospital. Ibrahim Oluwatosin Owodunni, prime boy, is also considered as complicit in the chain of events that led to the eventual death of Muhbad, as the injury that culminated in actions which led to his death was sustained in the course of physical combat.
But it was the one that blew something himself.
Ayoba Sodiq Splendid is also considered complicit in the homicide case.
Agreed.
Feisayo Ogedengbe,
Akoba.
he knew to be an unqualified and unregistered nurse to administer the potent medications that eventually trigger reactions leading to Muhbad's death. While Abdulaziz Fashola, Naira Marley, and Samson Balogun Sam Larry denied allegations of criminal liability in the death of Muhbad and pleaded an alibi to justify their not being complicit in the incidents that occurred from 10 to 12 September 2023. There are
any suru, let me block somebody. You don't tell me, you don't come and insult. I feel it. My block and you need. Ori e buru ni. Emma Binu, sorry for the interruption. I need to block this person. Bye. Ori e buru.
truly and credible witnesses evidence linking them to cyberbullying and cyberstalking, threat to life, assault, occasioning harm, and conduct likely to cause breach of the peace against the deceased in his lifetime, following their roles in the incidents that occurred at the Chandelier Club and Elegushi Beach in June 2023, as well as the alleged assault on Muhbad in October 2022 around the residence of Naira Marley at Lekki. Sam Larry admitted that he had multiple physical confrontations with Muhbad to get him to refund the 2 million naira which he claimed he paid to the late singer for a show which he claimed he did not honor. There are documentary evidence, international travel records confirming that both Abdulaziz Fashola, Naira Marley, and Samson Balogun, Eletu, Sam Larry, were not in Lagos, Nigeria when the events that directly led to Muhbad's death occurred between 10th to 12th September 2023. While Naira Marley was out of the country from 21st August to 3rd October when he reported and was arrested, when he returned and was arrested, Sam Larry was out of the country from 4th to 28th September when he also returned to the country and was arrested. On the demise of the deceased, his remains were buried at Ikorodu by his relatives on 13th September 2023, prior to the uproar that greeted his death and which informed the launch of the homicide investigation. On 24th September 2023, the corpse was exhumed, and on same date at about 16:00 hours, autopsy was performed on the remains of the deceased, and vital specimens were taken and sent to Lagos State DNA and Forensic Center for toxicology examination. The reports are still being awaited. Also being awaited is the official response from NDLEA on one of the viral videos containing allegations by the singer on his experience at the agency's Lagos office sometime in October 2022. Conclusion. Although the results of the autopsy and toxicology tests are being awaited, substantial grounds have been covered well enough by the Special Investigation Team to support the processing of the case file to the Director of Public Prosecution. Consequently, the case file is being duplicated and forwarded to the Director of Public Prosecution for vetting and legal advice, the outcome of which will inform further investigation, investigative actions, and prosecution. While reassuring that the command will sustain its firm determination to ensure justice in this case, I wish to assure that the members of the public will be availed of any further development in relation to the outcome of the autopsy and toxicology reports, DPP advice, feedback from NDLEA, and any other developments in the investigation to this case. I thank you for your coverage.
I want to see, but you can't be a question.
Thank you very much for coming. Ordinarily, this should be question and answer segment.
Okay.
I think the response is comprehensive enough.
No.
So, I'll come to the end of this. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, after no question was asked. Wow. Nigerian police, you did a good job, but you should have allowed people to ask questions. People have questions. They have a lot to ask. They still have a lot of questions on this case. Okay, we have seen that yet. Yes, for real, from what you have told us, he died of wrong negligence and wrong medication that was applied in a wrong setting. How about knowing why complicity, if there is any other thing hidden behind the motive of all these things? Muhbad is rich enough to have a good doctor, to have a good hospital, to have a good care for himself. And you know, for almost over 24 hours, Muhbad was carrying blood all around, bleeding seriously. And he didn't go to the hospital. He went home straight. And he was bleeding. And the wife was there looking at him. I won't blame the wife at this point anymore. Because let's assume sometimes men are difficult to cope with. What if Muhbad refused to go to the hospital? But what is the business of the friend to be the one to invite a nurse into his home? Because I don't see what business he has. He has been arrested. He's going to be prosecuted. But can you dig deeper into this case for us? Because it's too straightforward and too simple. And I expect you to answer some questions there. At least two or three questions from the public. Kini iti wa tu kesi ye o ti sa laduru. Yes, the nurse was wrong. Yes, the nurse came in and all that. Where was the nurse coming in from? If they are living in Lekki, where an auxiliary nurse, where did they get that auxiliary nurse from? Is it within the same vicinity? Ni nurse ti wa to wa fun ni abere monu ile. So there are so many questions that needs to be asked. And the treatment, who gave the consent for the nurse to treat him? The friend can call in a nurse. Yes, let's agree. Is it the wife that gave the consent, or Muhbad himself that gave the consent and say, oh yeah, treat me? We need that question. We need that answer. And why it took them long to call the father? Somebody is bleeding overnight. Who did Muhbad's wife called? Somebody very close that can talk to Muhbad. You know, somebody that she can call and say that, whoa, my husband is bleeding, and he doesn't want to go to the hospital, blah, 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 blah. Did she call anybody to let them know? We need answers to all that. And this is a big lesson, honestly, to all those auxiliary nurses out there. Have you seen one of you in trouble? And you know, salabere iku. A lot of people in Nigeria have gone through self-medication. They've mentioned the type of injection that was given. Yeah, you can call in. So what? Oh, lagbara. Wow, this is so sad. You know, I was telling you, I said, be ready. What you are expecting is not what is going to come out. Naira Marley ni,
Aunty.
Where did the narrative of ear infection come from? I said they need to carry that person. Go ahead.
Yes. You see, you know what, Aunty? This police case conference, it's nice that they've established. I have a lot of questions, and I think because I have worked in criminal justice.
Please go ahead and ask.
And I know.
Put it out there,
I know
please.
This is not Nigeria. I know I do not practice in Nigeria. But you see, there's something about that autopsy. So I don't understand. How can the police have so much information? Because I am trying to understand at what stage did they get all the information that led to his death? Because they seem to have established that what's the name? That the injection that was administered to him was what eventually led to his death. The police seems to have established that. So if that is the case, why then did they go ahead with autopsy? Is there more? Was there other things
No, they said they are still expecting some result from the autopsy that is going to be announced next appearance.
No, Aunty, Auntie can't understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
They've already established that from what the case conference that they've just said is saying, they've already established that Muhbad's death, obviously there was internal injury, which led them to call personal nurse.
Yes.
And then the nurse came, gave injections, and the guy passed away as a reaction.
Not only injection, and intravenous fluid, this thing too.
Yes, as a reaction of those injections. Right?
Okay, right.
That's what made him pass away, from what they are saying.
Yes.
So if that is the case, autopsy is conducted when there is no established cause of death. So for them to go ahead and carry out autopsy, is it at the initial stage that they got? At what stage did they get to before autopsy was authorized?
I don't know that. They have, I want to listen, probably during the investigation. Yeah.
It doesn't sound right. Something is not right somewhere. In yellow bay. And see, if there's anybody that has worked in criminal justice or that has worked in forensic, they will tell you, they would ask the same question I'm asking.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Then, secondly, okay, the wife was present at the time he went to this club to go and do this music perform or whatever he did. Then, okay, yes, or personal note. Ejo, personal note, is it a new thing in Nigeria? Because
no.
Personal doctor is more. Personal note.
Our command, some people do.
Personal note, not
yes.
personal doctor.
Some have personal nurses that come to administer medication to them. Yes, they do.
That is a very wrong thing, no.
But it's being practiced in Nigeria. I want Nigerians normal stop, and a lot of lives are going through it. Even self-medication too. Many of us do it back home without knowing the contraindication and everything. And
from what you suspect or whatever, woman's name
was not mentioned.
Oh, so is it that they were not married? If they were not married,
they called her his wife. They called her his wife. No. They mentioned her as Maloba.
No,
oh, no, maybe they are not legally married. I don't think they are legally married.
Okay. Now, because the reason why I'm asking the question I'm asking is, who was his next of kin? So if I didn't pay the kin right from that, who was the next of kin to authorize treatment? He said, because the police said Muhbad was refusing to get treated. He was refusing treatment.
Before they now called in a nurse.
Injury. Injury and say you can't afford you no working in that. So in your injury, injury to cause swellenness on their arm that they were showing, right? Now, our girls see as a woman Jay-Z or what Jay-Z ni oma pe won. Wọ́n láyà o. Wọ́n ní àyà. Ọlọ́ba yẹ kí yan ṣí. Ọlọ́ba yẹ káwọn ọmọ wa ṣí o kan ṣí léyà. Wọ́n ní àyà. So, adúrò nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ṣẹlẹ̀. Wọ́n ọmọ ikú máa pe fóònù bàbá ọmọ. Ṣé mo torí nǹkan tó ń sọ ó dẹ̀ kó wọn àbí bóyá mi dẹ̀ jẹ́ old school torí kò yé mi.
I expect them to call the.
So the extent ni pé the boy was bleeding internally. Wọ́n tún lórí láyà wọ́n tún pe nurse. Abẹ́rẹ́ tún gbòdì lára ọmọ. Wọ́n dákẹ́ bàbá ẹ̀ dẹ̀ wà. No matter wherever, like
well, I think they said within. I don't think it was up to 30 minutes to Fidake.
Auntie, there were incidents that led to all of this, isn't it? So nothing but
they are not legally married. Introduction, Oshe. We have not seen any picture of wedding. They are not legally married. Tombalewa legally married. They should bring it out. But you tell Konwano.
Only infected injury.
And he was bleeding. Yes. Yeah,
the nurse. His next of kin would have consented to his treatment when he was refusing treatment.
Okay, you are right. So you are saying when they brought her in, when they brought the nurse in, since he was refusing treatment, whoever consented to the treatment should be held responsible too.
Held responsible, be arrested.
Arrested too, yes, I agree. I agree, but yeah, you are right. You are right.
So whoever consented
On his behalf.
Already anybody wa, but who consented? She understands. Then from what the police was saying, what he Pelosi hospital, yẹ kó ti dákẹ́ kí bàbá Muhbad tó ṣe é mọ̀, and that collaborated with what the man was saying. Wọ́n ṣàdúró nǹkan báyìí, wọ́n ní àyà, wọ́n ṣàdúró nǹkan báyìí. Bàbá ọmọ òde mọ̀.
Láti 3 o'clock.
I hope parents on this our page, I hope they are listening. I hope people want fight ara wa, fight àwọn ọmọ wa. Èmi tí mo sọ mo lọ́mọkùnrin, ara mi ń gbọ̀n ni. Torí èmi ò mọ irú àyà tán ní. Tọ́mọ dákẹ́ tí yàn dákẹ́ mọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́ tó dẹ̀ láyà gbàǹgbà tó dákẹ́.
Somebody said, I saw a comment that somebody said if the father has a good lawyer, they can sue the wife, and I will tell you why. The wife's sister came out. Hold on, Mabinu. The wife's sister came out and said Muhbad is mentally is not stable. That can work against them. Hello? If they say he's not mentally stable and the wife is there, that can work against them if they have good lawyers. She came out by herself. That is not mentally stable.
Aunty, Muhbad is stable. Muhbad is stable. The fact remains. Pie at the end of the day. Stable go stable. Naramali àti Sam Larry ti gbogbo yan pariwo. Alibi wọ́n ti get one out of the scene.
Yes, only the harassment aspect need to
completely out of the scene.
Yes.
Case one is totally different from one pa Muhbad. The thing remains in your no consent. Don't feel full abere. Then I want management. Ṣé tí bàbá Muhbad bá ní good lawyer. Kó ìyàwó Muhbad kò yẹ kó bá work free. Management team Muhbad, none of them is meant to work free. I see everybody to in that scene leading to 72 hours. I see Soborito, whatever thing you pay.
Now I say English.
I see Cubana chief priest. I see Popo one. Come on, you can't people come for what like Bawoloju.
As far as
you go and look for very good legal thing. Very good.
So now, I want to one pariwo Naira Marley nǹkan. What have they got to say to this?
And see, even Iyabo Ojo is not spared in all of this. If that man has a good lawyer, Iyabo Ojo Totodike, as he just lovers, they are all not spared from it. They are not spared. That guy just needs a very, very good lawyer. That Muhbad's father, he needs if there's anything Nigerians can do for him, is getting a